Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to September 23rd, 2024. We have about 55 minutes left of trading today because the time currently, as I'm recording this, is 3:16 p.m. And today could be categorized as a weekday. Not the best of days. In fact, the XGO is down 0.63%. Not surprising, we have seen a little bit of weakness in the markets today. The Friday night session our time in America was slightly negative. I think the Nasdaq was down like 0.2%. Dow Jones was up slightly, but we are overbought. We are at the top of the trading range. So I did expect a little bit of weakness in the Australian market. If it didn't happen today, I expected that weakness in the next few weeks. In fact, this weakness could continue the next few weeks. So not surprised to see we are down. Tech up a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit of a surprise. Mining down, small caps down. Okay, so the agenda of today's video, we'll go through the ASX today, look at the best and worst performing sectors, indices, and also companies. Now, I actually did a swap with someone at work, so I'm doing their shift today, and they'll be doing a shift for me, who knows when, a few weeks from here. I love doing swaps, by the way, particularly if I'm doing the swap first, and they do a shift for me in the future. Love when that happens. Anyway, didn't have a close look at the announcement today, but I did have or come up with about 6 possibilities. 7 possibilities. So I'll discuss some of these companies as we go through the video. I'm pretty certain that one of these companies is up pretty big. Amplia Therapeutics. Telix Pharmaceuticals is another one. Pretty sure Healius might have had a good day. Cobre, Cobre. They released an interesting announcement. Johns Lyng Group, Select Harvest, Beston Food, and also Webjet. Probably should actually mention Webjet because they have demerged. I was going to say diverged, but they have demerged Web Beds or something like that. Anyway, and then I haven't any charts to look at. Did not write down any charts. And in that case, because I have no charts, doesn't mean I won't have a chart or any charts to look at by the end of the video. In that case, I might have a look at a few of your comments. I want to keep this video to about 45 minutes. So we have about 43 minutes left. Okay, so let's get into the ASX today. A down day, which we do have on occasion. And the tech sector has had a pretty good day, riding or fluctuating between being positive and negative through most of the day. And the most important thing here is we haven't seen the XGO, XAO fall through the day. It's gone fairly sideways after the initial drop on open. Okay, so let's have a look at the sectors and indices. There is a bit of a bifurcation here. Is that a word? Bifurcation? I'm actually going to check that. Bifurcated, yes. Bifurcation. There it is, bifurcation. I didn't understand why it wouldn't be a word, but sometimes I think I might make up words. Anyway, bifurcated market today because we had some sectors up pretty nicely, up over 1%, and a few sectors down quite big. Telecommunications, real estate, discretionary, all down by 1%. Staples down 2.89%. What's happening there? Why are we selling off in staples? Isn't that supposed to be defensive? I would assume utilities is sort of as being defensive as well, and that's up. I'm going to have a look at why Staples is down. This could be just one or two companies, maybe Wesfarmers, or maybe a few companies have gone ex-dividend. That could explain it. So let's have a look why Staples is down big today. We'll have a look by market cap. Oh, across the board, Woolworths, Coles, Endeavour Group, Treasury Wine, all down by over 2%. Something's happening, which I have no idea because I haven't looked at any news flow today, haven't looked at any economic data being released, but we have seen a lot of weakness in the staples today. Have they gone ex-dividend? That's my other question. Do they go ex-dividend on the same day? Possibly. Dividends. What's today's date? 23rd? No, Woolworths went ex-dividend on the 3rd. Now that's just one. What about Coles? Coles ex-dividend on the 3rd. Oh, they did go ex-dividend the same day. There must be some explanation around there. So what you could do is just Google it. I do this a lot. Just Google it. Woolworths, ASX, and any news flow here. Let's have a look. Here we go. ACCC or ACCC launches action against Woolworths and Coles. Okay, there you go. That's why I Google. Sometimes on a day like this, I don't look at the news, and here we have it. Obviously, this is the reason why these companies are down. Now, I'll have a look at this news later in the day when I have a little bit more time. I don't want to do this during the video, but yeah, that is why consumer staples is down. Fair enough to the market. Now, maybe the market is overreacting. I don't know. Anyway, and maybe that's why discretionary is down as well. Don't know. Anyway, let's have a look at the best performing indices, and gold is up. So mining or materials is down, gold is up. And we see this a lot where gold has a good day, the rest of mining has a bad day, or maybe gold has a bad day, the rest of mining has a good day. There's no real link or no real correlation between gold and the rest of the mining company, which I do find interesting. Now let's have a look at the ASX 20, and ASX 20 has had a bad day, probably because of Woolworths and coal. So if you're heavily invested in the best companies on the ASX, you've had a horrible day. Sometimes it's best to invest in the smaller companies. Anyway, and the other thing is, a lot of investors have probably bought into these companies because they're defensive and maybe they're scared. I want to maintain my capital. I'm going to put it into Woolworths and Coles, and days like this can happen. Okay, so let's have a look at the ASX 20. Let's have a look. I'm going to say, based off this, you would assume most of the companies are down. So I'm going to make that assumption. I'm going to say 6 up, 14 down. 6 up, 14 down. I am a genius at picking or doing this game. And I'll say that every single time I get it right. So I'm going to say it about 1 every 10 times. Anyway, let's have a look to see which companies have done well. We already know Coles and Woolworths have done badly. We have WiseTech. One of the reasons why Tech has had a good day. Woodside, Macquarie, Westpac, Fortescue, and NAB. And apart from Coles and Woolworths, REA Group's not had a good day. Wesfarmers probably been caught up in the Woolworths and Coles. CBA down. Don't know why other banks have had a good day. CBA's had a bad day. Overvaluation maybe, or valuation reasons. Don't know. I think that's all I want to look at when it comes to the market today. Now let's have a look at individual companies. And this is where it becomes so exciting for me, because there's a big chance I might have missed an announcement or two that might have sent the share price of a company up a lot or down a lot. Shouldn't miss that out as well. So that's why I do this every single day. Top gainers today. A company called Jupiter Energy is up 56%, but the turnover is $55. So someone just had to buy shares in Jupiter Energy, and they were willing to buy or pay 56% higher. Now, Mithril, silver and gold has popped up a lot recently. I'm pretty sure on Friday it was the stock of the day, and it's up another 54%. People like Mithril, silver and gold. Let's have a look at the chart. I would say this is looking pretty good. I didn't even think about Mithril, silver and gold today. And what a chart. That's a beautiful looking chart. In beautiful volume coming in as well. I would be a little bit concerned that there might be a little bit of profit taking eventually, because share price has really increased over the last 2 days. But if we don't see a lot of selling, that would tell me there's a lot of strength to these announcements, particularly the one on Friday. And that could be fairly bullish for the longer term around this company. So I'm going to be keeping a closer eye on Mithril moving forward, because I am intrigued about these sort of setups. Can it last? When I say can it last, I don't mean the share price rising 50% every single day. I mean, can the share price remain, say, above 55 cents? If its share price goes sideways, if I don't see a lot of selling, that again shows me there's a bit of strength to this company. So interesting to see Mithril, silver and gold again on this list. Otherwise, Waratah Minerals up 32% on pretty good turnover. So the funny thing is, I didn't even have a look to see if Mithril released an announcement today. I just assume it's just, again, okay, appointment of non-executive director. That's not, I don't think that's driving the share price. But Waratah Minerals, they must have released something today. Share price up 32.4%. No. Okay, that's interesting. That's nothing there today. Waratah Minerals, let's have a look at the chart for this company. Well, the chart looks pretty good. This is a nice looking chart as well. I do like this chart. On occasion, we do see the share price increase a fair bit. We saw it, the breakout for this company happened on the 3rd of July. Share price up 96% on that day. Not long after, share price rallied 35% on the 22nd of July, another 22% on the 14th of August. And again, today, share price has rallied 32%, and the share price has reached a long-term high. So this is actually a brilliant looking chart for Waratah Minerals. Yes, this is a nice looking chart for this company. Okay, so let's move on to another one. We'll find another one. Irawara Resources, Panther Metals, mentioned this company recently. And there's Amplia Therapeutics. Now, I have not come up with the top 5 stocks of the day or ordered them. I will put Amplia Therapeutics as number 1. Share price up 29.63%. Elsewhere, nothing of note here. Yep, nothing of note. So let's turn attention to this list by market cap. And we have Boss Energy, Bannerman Energy, Lotus Resources. What do you think happened to uranium last Friday? I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on the technical update video that uranium might have a good day today because uranium popped up on Friday. And you can definitely see that with the best company or the top 3 companies on this list being uranium companies, Appen up again, over $2. I'm still staying clear of Appen. I think eventually the share price will pull back significantly. No idea where that's going to be, but share price keeps on running. So I could be wrong. Electro-optics. In fact, I'm just going to have a check that these companies have not released anything. No. And electro-optics. No. So again, it's just, I wouldn't say noise. Well, Appen's not noise. That's just a plaything for day traders. What about Grange Resources? Because uranium, I'm pretty sure uranium companies have not done no, nothing there. So most of these are just noise. There's SKS Technologies. As a shareholder, I'm happy with that, but I'm pretty certain they did not release an announcement today. They did on Friday. So yeah, so maybe a little bit of delayed reaction there from the market. Other than that, there's nothing else here. There you go. So I haven't really missed anything today. When it comes to top gainers, maybe I've missed something when it comes to the top losers. Let's have a look. Now, by a percentage change, we have one company here, Select Harvest. That's not a surprise. I really don't have to talk about this one as a top 5 stock of the day because they did go through a capital raising. Capital raising was done at a discount and the share price has pulled back. Now, I did say what the management did in regards to this capital raising was a good thing because the share price had rallied, and that's when you should do a capital raising. Now, it's just a discount. So the company, the discount, capital raising discount was fairly significant. I'm just going to see if the share price is now below the capital raising price. That would be a little bit negative. And the capital raising price, I can't remember what it was, $3.80. I do remember now. And the share price has fallen a fair bit below that. So those who participated in the placement are going, oh, what did we do? Why did we say yes to this? Horrendous. So not shocked to see the share price down on the capital raising, but how far it's fallen, maybe a little bit shocked. But the potential uptrend or developing uptrend for this company has come to an end because of this capital raising. The other thing I probably might have mentioned this, the share price was at a resistance level. And maybe that's the best time to do a capital raising, or maybe the worst time, because if the share price is at a resistance level, there is potential it could break through and the share price could go on a really good run. That's when you might, maybe they should do a capital raising. Anyway, so I don't have to talk about Select Harvests. Anything else here of interest? Not really, although I do see Webjet down on pretty big turnover. That's because of the demerger. So the share price of Webjet should fall by the price of the new entity, and that new entity, so Webjet is down 89 cents. So I would say technically the new entity, which is, I did write it down, WJL, the price of this should be, well, technically it should be 89 cents. I doubt that's going to be happening. So I'd say that the price of this new entity is anywhere between 75 cents and maybe $1. Let's have a look. WJL, 75 cents and $1, and it's at 80 cents. So slightly below the price where Webjet, the other Webjet, has fallen. So there's no surprises here. That's why the share price of Webjet is down. Nothing bad has happened to the company, unless you didn't like this demerger. I like it. So we don't have to talk about Webjet anymore. We don't have to talk about, what's the other one? Select Harvest. So I've pared my list of potential companies to talk about down by 2. So thank you very much, Webjet. Strike Energy. Did they release something today? Let's have a look. I have a feeling maybe. Yes, Waring reserve statement. I don't know why I remember this company releasing an announcement, but Waring reserve statement. The market has not liked it. Share price down 11.4%. I have a feeling the chart for this company is not that crash hot, and I would be right. The share price is in a downtrend. Yep, downtrend. Moving on to the next one. And we've come to the end of the list. I could show all companies, but I'm not going to do that. So let's move on to the top losers by market cap. So we have Webjet, Beacon Lighting. I'm assuming this is just a little bit of noise, or maybe the company's gone ex-dividend. That's always a possibility. And they have not. Just going to have a quick look at the chart for Beacon. Beacon Lighting. Yeah, it's just, I'd say this is a bit of noise. Nothing to be too concerned with. And then we have Select Harvest, AMA Group, which I am trading, by the way. And my buy price there is 6 cents. And if I see the share price get below 5.8 cents, I would be a little bit concerned. So stay above 6 cents, please, AMA Group. Bisalloy Steel, another bad day. Oh, my voice croaked then. It's like I'm going through puberty again. And close the loop. Nothing of note there, really. Pretty boring list. So I have pared down the possible companies in my top 5 stocks today to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am going to ignore JLG, which is Johns Lyng Group, because they have done an acquisition. And I was going to be a little bit critical of the company. I would prefer this company to stop making acquisitions and start trying to grow the company you have. But that's just me being an annoying shareholder. So I am not going to talk about John Lyng's Group. So I do have a top 5 stocks of the day. And I'm going to put that company 2. We'll put Telix 5. We'll put Cobre 4, Healius at 3, Beston Food at 2, and Amplia Therapeutics as 1. So let's start with the Telix Pharmaceuticals, because why not? Now, I mentioned Johns Lyng Group made an acquisition, and I don't want to talk about that company because of that. Telix also made an acquisition, and the difference is share price is up, and I'm a shareholder. Well, I'm a shareholder of both, but I like Telix a little bit more. So Telix to acquire RLS for US manufacturing and distribution. If I remember correctly, was this the one there was a price attached to it? There was an acquisition today, and they attached a price to it. And I was like, ooh, that's not a bad price. No, that was Healius. So we'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, Healius. Anyway, so they've made an acquisition of this manufacturing and distribution platform. I did read this, but a lot of it went over my head because I'm not very smart. It's not smart at all. And when something goes over my head, I just nod off and do something else. So in this case, I don't know much about this, although this what they're acquiring did have revenue of $158 million. Doesn't really say if they're profitable or anything else, but they did mention here the transaction. This is the bit I did pay attention to because there's a lot of more scientific jargon in here. Anyway, the transaction is expected to be cost neutral to Telix. So understand that. From an operating cash flow perspective, we'll understand that. RLS is currently a distributor of Illuccix, sort of understand that. And as such, the acquisition is expected to be accretive to Telix following completion. So I don't understand that. And what they're saying there is this should be, if it is accretive, beneficial for the company and more importantly, for the shareholders. The rest of it, yeah, it's just over my head. Maybe I'm being a little bit unfair on myself, but anyway, so that's Telix coming in at number. Actually, let's have a look at the chart first. That's probably always look at the chart. Ooh, hello. Interesting enough, at one point today, the market didn't like it. I'm looking at the one-day candlestick, and it opened at a low, opened near the low. So initially, the market didn't like this one, but the share price has rallied today. Not only has the share price rallied, it has reached an all-time high. Actually, I'm going to confirm that. Share price at the high today was 27.9, 27, 20, $20.79. And the high back on the 18th of July was $20.76. So yes, the share price of Telix has reached an all-time high today. Not a bad looking chart. Just going to have a quick look at the 1 minute chart. I'm assuming the sell-off was on open. So yep. You sold. Some people sold on open. I don't know why. They didn't like this acquisition, and they're probably kicking themselves right now. Although I'm probably being pretty stupid saying that. Do people actually do that? Probably not. I do that sometimes. Why did I sell? Kicking myself. Anyway, not literally, although I'm kicking myself now, and yeah. So that's Telix Pharmaceuticals coming in at number 5, and the share price has reached an all-time high today. Congratulations to the management of Telix Pharmaceutical. Coming in number 4, we have a company called Cobre Limited. Share price up 9.4%. I thought maybe the share price would be up higher. I've noticed share price did open at 7.5 and reached a high of 7.8. So the share price at one point today was up about 20%, maybe even more than that, maybe 25%. But more importantly is what drove the interest in this company today. They just name dropped. Well, they're getting into a partnership, I suppose, with BHP, the largest mining company in the world. I had a look at Cobre. When I saw this, I had a look at Cobre's market cap and I went, well, it's pretty big. So Cobre has a market cap of 25 million. Yep, there he goes, 25 million. And that's really interesting to me that BHP is willing to get into a partnership with a company that's worth 25 million. Why not just buy it out? Just buy it out. There must be reasons behind it. And I am not a CEO, and I maybe should not judge CEOs' decisions making or management decision makings like this. You could buy this company out and probably wouldn't even be a dent, even the slightest dent into your financials. So this is a chart of Cobre. Chart's starting to look pretty good. This is maybe the reason why you should just be taking a big position in the Cobre, eventually buying it out, because it looks like the chart wants to turn around. Anyway, this is not quite a breakout, not quite there today. And there's been a little bit of selling, but not a lot. And the volume hasn't been huge. There was a fair bit of interest in this company back in January. Share price on the 23rd of January rose 78%. Looks like that could have set in a bit of a shift in trend and sentiment, but that shift has sort of turned the other way in June. And it looked like the share price was moving back into a downtrend. Anyway, I don't know anything about this company. And this was in regards to Tier 1 copper and gold. Watch out. Which ones? No, that's silver. Copper and silver. I just had to remember my element symbol things, whatever you call them. And AG, I was going, AG is not gold. AU's gold. AG silver. Anyway, this is with a wholly owned subsidiary of BHP Group. Okay. I like just how they say BHP and Cobre have signed a letter of intent just to explore for Tier 1 copper silver deposits in Botswana. Anyway, the market's liked it a little bit, and I have heard of this company before, but I've never had a look at it. And at least we know now that this company looks like a copper, gold, probably silver explorer. I would assume also they have quite a few projects, not just the one. Well, that's what I'm shooting. It could be a bad assumption. Anyway, so that's Cobre. Coming in number 4, let's move our attention to Healius. This is the one. They have not made an acquisition, the complete opposite to an acquisition. Now I remember. And the market's like this one. I like this one as well because I'm trading Healius. And I saw this and I went, sale of Loomis, imaging of or to Affinity Equity Partners. Now, I'm a little bit wary of acquisitions because a lot of acquisitions don't work. And does that mean I'm keen or excited about diverging or divesting? That's the word. Not necessarily so. Yeah, not necessarily so. It all depends, I suppose. But the market's like this one. And when I read it, and I did read it, I liked it as well. And the main reason I liked it is the price I got. So this was for 965 million. Now, one thing I didn't like is when they said in the third bullet point here, proceeds from the sale will be used to reduce debt. That's pretty good. I don't mind that. Support strategic execution in pathology. Yeah, okay, fine. and return cash to shareholders. I don't like that at all. I would prefer you find a way to increase returns because, again, returning the cash to shareholders is not, it's at a cost, and that cost is a capital in the company. So you say if they return, 50 cents to shareholders, the share price in the company will drop 50%. It's not free. There is a price. And I do prefer companies not return cash to shareholders unless it's an absolute necessity. And in that regards, the only absolute necessity is when you're winding up the company. Anyway, so the price for this is pretty interesting, 965 enterprise value. But what was interesting to me, now they mentioned here on a pre-AASB 16 basis, why, I'm not sure why they do that. The transaction represents a multiple of 17 times financial year 2024 EBITDA and 25.5 times financial year 24 EBIT. That seems like this is a pretty good price for this particular Loomis Imaging, unless Loomis Imaging, and I don't know anything about this Loomis Imaging because I don't know much about Healius, I'm just trading it, unless Loomis Imaging was the star division or section of Healius. Now, that can be a bad thing. You're selling off the good parts of the business and maintaining the crappy. That would not be good. So I do wonder why Affinity Equity Partners is paying so much for Loomis Imaging. Now, I could be completely mistaken, and maybe it's a crappy part of the business. Don't know. I haven't gone through the rest of the announcement talking about strategic rationale. So, yeah, that's it for Healius. Now let's have a look at the chart, and I'll show you why I've taken a trading position in this company. Healius. I would not consider this company high quality. So, and this is just a trading position. And it did look like just a possibility that there is a bit of excitement coming into this company. Just a little bit. Not as strong as Australian Clinical Labs. This one looks pretty good. That was just taken off. Probably better than Sonic Healthcare. And I do lump these three companies together because they're sort of similar. I wonder if this divestment means Healius is less similar. And yeah, Sonic Healthcare is by far the weakness, but let's go back to Healius. So it did look like things, or does look like things are turning around for Healius. Now, the last week, the share price actually did dip a bit. Now, not only that, I bought at about $1.60. I've also received a dividend. So I can't ignore the dividend. Dividend was pretty nice as well. It was a 6 cents. I suppose that's not that nice. It was more than that, 6 cents. Anyway, so I have also received a dividend. Now the share price is up 7%. So the chart doesn't look that bad, but I need to see the share price get above $1.75. Would love to see that. Now, something you could do is if you adjust it for dividends. Oh, it's not adjusting for dividends. Yeah, it's not doing it. Anyway, let's move on to the next company. I'm done with Healius. Yeah, it's coming in number 3. To Beston. And this is always sad news when something like this happens to a company. Beston Global Food Company. I don't know this company all too well. They do sell food, and this is a tough business, a really tough business. And the majority of times, there's someone at the front door, is it? I'm just going to hang on a second. It was not someone at the doors. Someone was just turning around in my driveway. And when someone is turning around in my driveway, or actually just coming up my driveway, the dogs do get excited. They love people. So we're getting a bit excited, but no, someone just using my driveway to turn around. Anyway, back onto Beston Global Food. This is a hard business, selling food, whatever they do. I have no idea what they sell, but they're selling food. Unless they put the word food in their company to fool everyone. Share price, 0.3 cents. Well, that's a bad sign straight away. Apparently this company has a dividend. No, it's 2016. That's a bad sign as well. Anyway, I think you've already know what this is about. Beston Global Food has appointed voluntary administrators. The announcement was actually really interesting because they did explain why things have gone wrong for the company. So this is in the background section. It's quite long, but I do like this. Sometimes when a company releases an announcement like this, it's just, we've just appointed administrators, that's it. There's no explanation. Anyway, they've mentioned here in the background. Oh, wait there. Someone is at the door. Anyway, the delivery person decided to turn his truck around in my driveway and then deliver the packages. Usually they do the complete opposite. Yep. So there was a delivery person indeed. Anyway, so what I found really interesting about this announcement, even though it's probably irrelevant, is they gave a reason what's happened. Why have they gone into administration? And they just mentioned here, the company has experienced a perfect storm at adverse events in recent times. As soon as I wrote A Perfect Storm, I just thought of the book and not the movie. Definitely the book was better than the movie. Pretty sure the movie had Marky Wahlberg and George Clooney in it, I believe. Anyway, the book was much better than the movie. Anyway, Perfect Storm at adverse events in recent times. Beston went into COVID with relatively little debt. This is probably the most important thing. Debt kills. Debt is the thing that's most likely to not kill, to destroy a company. And it's quite obvious this is what happens. This is what has happened to Beston Global Food. So went into COVID with relatively little debt and came out on the other side with a debt burden, which has weighed heavily as interest rates have increased. That's all I'm going to talk about. They've gone through some other stuff here, talking about exceptionally high operating costs, particularly due to onerous energy prices, unintended consequence of the Australian Dairy Code legislation introduced in 2019, has been to keep farm gate milk prices at high levels and disconnected from the global prices of dairy commodities. So sort of blaming the government. They also mention here favorable weather conditions substantially increase the supply of milk to our factories at a time when farm gate milk prices were at record highs. The avalanche of cheaper dairy imports that have reached the Australian market during 2020 and 2024. All they're saying here is this sort of business is really, really hard. So obviously they do dairy and that sort of thing. Beston's lactoferrin and fast-growing cream cheese business. Hard business to succeed in. And this just shows you why, this background section shows you why these sort of businesses are really hard to succeed in. Anyway, could we have known before today that Beston was in trouble? Let's have a look at the chart. The chart tells all. So let's have a look at the daily chart. And yeah, my first question is, why would you ever hold shares in this company? We're going all the way back to 2016. Back in 2016, share price of this company was 50 cents. Now it's 0.3 cents. During this whole time, share price was in a downtrend. On occasion, there was short periods of time when the share price moved into an uptrend. Those periods were quite short. So we had a period here in 2017, short period in late 2020. There was actually a good period here, nice little period here in the middle of 2021 when the share price did go on a nice run, but that fell away fairly quickly. And then a very short period here in 2022. Otherwise, why? That would be my question when it comes to this company. Obviously, it's not a high quality company. It's probably a fairly low quality company, if that at all. Well, I could probably say that now. And the chart tells you all, not a company to own. That's just my opinion. Why would you own a share in this company with a chart like this? So that's Beston. Unfortunately, won't be on the ASX anymore. No, that's not absolutely true. Maybe the administration will find something to like, and maybe they could make some changes, and yeah, maybe they could turn around. I don't know, but unlikely. Let's move on to the stock of the day, Amplia Therapeutics. Share price up 29.63%. A couple of really good announcements in a row. On Friday, FDA fast-track designation for namofotinib. And today, sixth confirmed response in pancreatic cancer trial. And we have seen the share price rally 2 days in a row of two pretty good announcements. And now, I shouldn't say pretty good. The market's liked it anyway. So 6 patients in the company's ACCENT trial in pancreatic cancer have now achieved a required reduction in tumor size with no detection of new lesions. That actually does sound pretty good, doesn't it? We all want pancreatic cancer, in fact, all cancers, to be eradicated. That's our dream. as human beings. Anyway, the ACCENT trial can now proceed to recruit the next cohort of 24 patients, giving a total of 50 patients on a study. Now, I don't know a lot about this study, and this is only 6 patients. Maybe it's just a fluke that these 6 patients had a reduction in tumor size and the rest of the patients won't. But this, I suppose, is a good sign moving forward for this ACCENT trial. Still fairly early. Total of 50 patients are planned for the phase 2A ACCENT trial. Now, if they keep getting really good results, maybe there will be some sort of deal with another pharmaceutical company, or maybe they can, be acquired for a much higher price than it is right now. So a fairly good, another really good step in the right direction for this company. And the market is paying attention. So let's have a look at the chart again for Amplia. It didn't make it into my top 5 stocks on Friday, but now it has into number 1. And yes, the chart looks really good. So this is the perfect looking developing uptrend chart. We had the initial response. Share price has dipped back on lower volume, and now the share price has taken off again. Share price up to 17 cents, and the market cap of this company is only 37 million. Actually, it'd be more than that. It'd be about 45 million now. Amplia Therapeutics, 46.72 million. And there was a viewer of this channel who really likes this company. So that particular person is having a really good day right now. Okay, so that's all I have for the top 5 stocks of the day. We have looked at, or I have looked at Telix Pharmaceuticals, Cobre, Healius, Beston Foods, and Amplia Therapeutics. So two healthcare companies. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Since I have a little bit of time on my hands, here's an interesting one. From Say Something Soothing, talking about how there needs to be 2.7 million homes built in the next 15 years. Therefore, in this person's opinion, residential property developers, Lease, Stocklander, Pete, and AV Jennings with good land banks will benefit greatly. Now, that's a possibility, but they should have been benefiting greatly in the last 15, 20 years because we have built a lot of homes in this country. So just because there is the opportunity doesn't mean companies can take advantage of the opportunity. We have seen this time and time again that that's not necessarily true. Anyway, you might not personally like the Lend-Lease, but never say never. I'm willing to trade Lend-Lease, but I would say based off history, Lend-Lease could not be considered a high-quality company. And based off past of this company, can it take advantage of these tailwinds that you're talking about? I don't know. So I am willing to trade this company. And at this point in time, Lend-Lease chart does look good. Now, if they are able to take advantage of these opportunities, the chart will look even better. So share price has pulled back a little bit today, 3%. Could be a buy the dip situation for Lend-Lease. Anyway, thank you. Say Something Soothing. Thank you, Anderson6379. I've already replied to that. James Dean died in 1955. DDR dropped on result and still has not recovered. Let's have a look at the chart for Dicker Data. Dicker Data. And in fact, the chart looks pretty good. No. I don't know why I said that. Chart looks pretty bad. There is one slight positive of the chart. Now, and hopefully you can see that. So there's this line here, dash line, a horizontal dash line that looks like it goes back a while. Yep, goes all the way back to 2020. Now, unfortunately, it did go below this line for a brief period in 2023, but that line is still there. And even during that period, that line did act as a resistance line, and then it became support. So that line, and that's about $9, not exactly right on $9, but that price has acted as a support and resistance for Dicker Data going all the way back to 2020, so a 4-year period. Now, the reason I'm talking about that is because share price for this company dropped a fair bit in May. Was that a negative trading update? I think it was a negative trading update. Share price reached $9, but it acted as a support level. You can see the share price actually bounced the next day pretty, I wouldn't say violently off $9, but it definitely reacted off $9 hit it again like a week later, and then bounced. In fact, the share price of Dicodato went from $9 back up to $10.80. So it's a nice 20% gain in a fairly short period of time. And then the company released their negative results. Share price dipped, hit $9 again on the 9th of September, and has bounced. But the bounce has been really weak. I would not be surprised to see $9 broken, just based off the lack of enthusiasm of buyers, as the share price has reached $9 again. And the share price is just straddling above $9. It's just riding above $9. So, and it's $9.02 right now. So I would not be surprised to see the share price fall below $9. Or in fact, it's $8.90. That's the true resistance level for this company. Anyway, so that's Dicker Data. Still has not recovered. Yeah. So the buyers aren't enthusiastic at this point. So you need enthusiastic buyers. Scott, II 9RB, Alcidion off the cliff, but I urge a move to buy, in my humble opinion. We cannot give advice. We'll be arrested. If we were talking about property and crypto, you could tell us all to buy property, buy crypto. That's okay, but telling people to buy shares, no, that's not right. Can't do that. That current fall is people getting stopped out. Possible. It's the altos ripping shirts off. It may be just a gap fill to bottom of wave 4. Reminds me of Money Me a couple of days ago. If it bounces off 4 cents or whatever, gathers its thoughts, even bolts back up as a sell. This is a long comment. It's not a recommendation, but one matchstick on buy, the best impulse break up through 7 cents as it goes on its mad dash to break the 10 cents. Have a trailing stop of 10% or until the price breaks closes below the 50-day, for instance. What's incredible is that no matter what we reckon, the price just does not whatever it does, doesn't it? Yes. Hope someone with a true interest in this company does really well. My only concerns about Alcidion, let's have a look to see what's happened today. It's up 3.7%, not 0.2. I would say this. The best way for the share price to move into a really good uptrend and this company being really good for the shareholders is to become profitable. If they become profitable, yeah, you got to see the share price move into an uptrend. I just don't like how it's just sold off so rapidly. And even the share price rising today, it's fairly low volume. I just think the share price of this company is going to go sideways for a while. I don't think the share price will move into an uptrend just because we have a lot of people who bought at high prices and they're going to add to resistance moving forward. So I think the best thing that could happen to Alcidion, share price goes sideways for a while and if the share price goes sideways for a while, all these shareholders who bought at high prices eventually going to become bored and they will sell out. And then it's just, if the company then releases a good financial statement, then all bets are off. Even if they release that really good financial statement and all those sellers haven't sold off, there might be enough enthusiasm from buyers that they can just sort of absorb all that selling from these shareholders. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised to see Alcidion Group's share price just go sideways from here. And don't forget, the share price has dropped a lot over the last few years. So there's going to be a lot of shareholders who are significantly underwater. And I would say a lot of those are still holding on. Some of those may have already lost hope and sold out, but still some of those keeping hope. And if the company doesn't achieve what many of these shareholders thought they were going to achieve a few years ago, eventually you will see a bit of pressure on the share price. So the best thing this company can do is to achieve profitability. Best thing they can do. Anyway, thank you for that very long comment, Scott. Okay, you did another comment. I think I'm going to leave it there. Oh, actually, no. We'll do these two for Gazmo. USA rate cut helped gold kick up a bit on Friday. Wasn't the rate cut before that? I don't know. Maybe you're right. But Gazmo also mentioned something. Kneppy, did you notice the volume spikes either red or green on iron ore at the start or end of each month? Funny enough, yes, I've noticed that quite a bit in the past. So let's have a look at iron ore. If I can find it. Yes, you always notice there's a bit of a tick up on the first of the month. The reason I said March there is because I was looking at March. I think it was. No, February. Anyway, this is something I did notice, and I was like, "Ooh, that's interesting." Yeah. And that's all I've got to say. It is interesting, but I did notice it. And let's do one more. Thanks, Kneppy. I like these technical analysis videos. You're welcome. I've thought about stop doing them, but comments like this is reassuring that maybe I should keep doing them. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to keep it there for today's video because I do have to get back to work. Yes. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.